There are three main points we have to keep in mind all the time when we're going to create a choreography for group dancers. I found that many choreographers, especially foreigner choreographers, when they're going to create their choreography for a group dancers, especially for folk dancing or oriental dancing, they didn't keep in mind that they has to concentrate in these three main points. Howdy, friends. This is Tamer with you once more again, and I will explain to you these three main points. But before I start, I want to talk with you or explain to you the idea. When we're going to choose an idea for our choreography, we have to study first. We have to study the type of dance as usual, what we're going to create, and we have to know the phenomenon, if it has a phenomenon in its people, and why they're doing something like that, and what is behind. Then either we can choose an idea from them, or we can create our own idea. This is for the folk dancing, I mean Egyptian folk dancing, and I think most of the folk dancing all over the world are the same. Then we create our choreography. The idea is very important. Why? Because if I collect steps together, or gathering all of these steps and going to dance on the stage like that without an idea, it will be boring for some of the audience, except if we do something special or something with a very special type of movement, the audience can understand it right well, or understand them right well, or taking their attention with us. So this is something I watched it, or I saw it in many groups before for their type of dancing. But the Egyptian folk dance is very easy and coming to the audience very fast. That means exactly the audience, when they're going to watch it, they know exactly the story or the meaning behind the step. Sometimes some of the steps are very complicated to understand what is behind the step, but we have to create an idea. This is very important. Then the theater. I found that many dancers or many choreographers, when they're going to create their choreographies on the stage, they didn't keep attention for the decoration and the light. If you concentrate onto the stages, immediately you will find that the black theater is the easiest stage we can use for our dancing. But the decoration is very important to emphasize your idea or the type of dance you're going to perform. For this reason, we have to prepare at least very easy decoration around us to emphasize the idea what I'm talking about through my body or through the dancer's body. This decoration can be very complicated and can be very easy. That means, or that is when I am using a theater, I found that 99% of the foreigners, when they're going to dance our dancing, it is very easy theater without any decoration. Sometimes they can create some decorations, but these decorations sometimes are not inside the idea, which it is, as I told you, very important. I remember long ago, or my friends, yes, also, who watched my dancing, my group dancing long ago, when we were doing our performance on the stage, we were using a black theater. And if you still remember, I was using some fabrics behind to exactly explain or to help me in my idea when I'm going to perform on the stage or with my group. It is like that. Very easy, the decoration with some fabrics. If you have more decoration, it will be good for you, of course, and for your idea. Number two, which it is the light. Light is very important because light can take the imagination of the audience with you. It is like that, taking their imagination with you, and the light let them live inside your idea. I will not explain much more about it because it can take a long time. I mean the color of the light and which type of light and so on and so on. All these important points, maybe one of my lectures or one of my videos later I can explain you much more about it and how you can use them with your costumes, the color of the costumes, even also the makeup and many things like that. So this is number two. So for this reason, you have to know exactly how you can use the decoration with the light to emphasize your idea in the theater or on the stage, to let the audience all the time be with you. The idea, it is not, or let me tell you, I can use a very easy idea or very complicated idea. Depends on the story I want to play on the stage. 99% of the choreographers, they're looking to embodiment of an idea which their imagination, coming from their imagination, to be alive. This is exactly the main point for our choreography when we're going to create it for group dancers. The first point of the 3 points is the balance on the stage, which is very important. Sometimes I see the choreographers creating their choreography and they forgot completely the balance on the stage. Today I will talk with you about the normal stage, which it means the front stage and the audience sit in a front like that, in the front of the stage, like this way. This stage can be very easy. Of course, we have many different types of stages, but I will explain to you this stage and how we can find the balance and how we can understand the positions on the stage. It will be like that. There are a lot of different forms or types of stages, and I will explain to you the normal one, which we call it the theatrical stage. This theatrical stage has 2 entrances from both sides, left and right, and of course the audience sitting in front of this stage. We imagine lines. These lines can divide the stage in 8 positions. Of course, each position has its own place, and of course in the middle we have a point, we call it golden point. This point belongs to the solo dancer. Of course, the solo dancer can move in the cross lines, which it means back, front, left and right. And this point, golden point, I call it golden point because it's very important and sometimes can be bad if we use it in a wrong way. Number 1 and 2, 6 and 5 are the highly important points or positions on the stage. Number 3, 4, 7 and 8 are the second. When we're going to create our choreography for the group dancers, we have to understand these positions correctly to know exactly how we can use the steps and let the dancers move on these positions. This is exactly the most important and famous stage, what we use it most of the time. Don't forget, we have many different forms or many different types of stages, but this stage is the most famous one. The second point is the balance of the choreography, which it means the balance of the dancers together, because sometimes I can find that the choreographer concentrate in one area, exactly same as I explained to you of the stage, and he or she leave the other positions or other places on the stage. So I feel the balance of the dancers destroyed. So this is also very important, because when I am going to dance in front of the audience, I have to take their attention all the time with me, their eyes all the time with me. So I have to understand exactly that I have to balance onto the stage's balance. I know it is a strange little bit as I'm saying now, but if you concentrate right well in this point, you will create the correct path. The paths we using on the stage are very important to have this balance. So very easy. If I do a circle, for example, in a right side, I have to do the same circle again in the left side. And if I go to the back of the stage, I have to come to the front, and so on and so on. The diagonal, yes, also I can make a half arc, or let me say, yeah, a half arc. So if I do something like that, it must be something in the front of this arc, or I have to change and I do the arc once more again, but on the other side, and so on and so on. The middle, as I told you, this golden point, which it is very important for the solo dancers, if I have a solo dancer inside the group. So I have to know exactly where I put the other dancers, or where I let them go, move, and which area exactly. Sometimes I can let all the dancers in one side and the solo dancer in the front of them, or parallel with them for the audience. I mean, here is the dancers, for example, and here exactly in this side exactly the solo dancer. This is make the balance on the stage like that. You know, so for this reason, I have to let the other dancers in a very good position, the correct position, half arc, for example, until the middle, if my idea needs something like that, and the dancer, the solo dancer, in the front of the last one of the arc, for example, or little bit far, or something like this, depends on the idea what I'm talking about. But keep in mind that the other side of the stage is died now. So for this reason, I have to know exactly how I move them. This is also one day I will explain you much more about how to move the dancers. I'm talking now about the main points. So for this reason, if this is first time watching this video, or this is first time visiting the channel, make sure to click the subscribe button below to receive my next videos. This is exactly the second point, which is very important. So this is the balance of the stage, as I told you, and this is the balance of the dancers, and I never go out of my idea, which is very important to emphasize the idea to the audience, because sometimes I feel that the solo dancer want to show them exactly how she can move, or how she can do, or what type of dance step she can do better than the others, and something like that, which it is my third point. The third point, as I told you, it is the dance steps, the choreography. Of course, again and again, the idea can born for me the dance steps, what I will do, or exactly I will choose the correct steps from my steps in my mind, what I have in my mind or had in my mind long ago, depends on the story, or depends on the type of dancing what I am doing. I found that sometimes the choreographers chooses a very complicated dance steps for the dancers, for the group dancers. Believe me, it is very easy. One little step, one easy step, if more than 4 persons do this step together, immediately you will find it very strong step. It is like that. So for this reason, try all the time to think exactly that the easiest steps in a group dancing became much more will become much more strong. So you have to collect or to choose the correct steps in or for your idea and make it very easy. For the solo dancer, of course, you can choose a complicated step, no problem in this. But for the group dancers, try all the time to find the correct and the easiest step, which all of them, they will do it together. Immediately you will find it very strong and it will take the attention of the audience and their eyes will be with you all the time or with your dancers all the time. This is exactly the third point, which it is very important. Sometimes I found that some choreographers create steps for group dancers, or they divided the group dancers in two parts, two groups, one group in this side and other group in the other side. They give this group a type of dance steps not same like the other group on the other side. This exactly can let the audience unhappy or feel strange because they feel immediately that very strange. I mean, if you want to do two groups or you have two groups on the stage and you want them to do something, make the opposite of the step to the other side, which it means exactly that the same step from this side, you can make the opposite on the other side, but never use a strange step from one group and the other do another strange step, something like that. It will break the balance of the people when they're going to think. When they're going to watch you, immediately they will find it very strange, or they will find these type of dances are very strange. So keep in mind all the time very easy steps and how you can move them in the opposite side or together or back or front and so on, but with these types of steps as I explained to you. This is exactly the 3 points which they can help you to be in success when you're going to create your choreography for the group dancers. And this was my video for today. Thank you very much, and I will be waiting for you in my next video.